This is your guide to book publishing. Everything you want to know but didn't know what to ask. With your host, Dr. Judith Briles, on the Rockstar Radio Network. On the show today, you'll find out where book publishing is going and how to take advantage of it. How to identify and avoid publishing predators. What opportunities are emerging as the book trade evolves in new forms. How to avoid losing money, and much, much more. Join us now as a variety of publishing pros will deliver insights and strategies to take the author to the next level of publishing. It's your guide to book publishing. Everything you want to know but didn't know what to ask. Brought to you by Author U and the Book Shepherd on the Rockstar Radio Network. And now, here's your host, Dr. Judith Briles.
Well, back with us this fabulous day, we're live here at the end of the year, our last show of the year. So those of you who are listening to the podcast, there's December or 2013. There's a lot of information that we're going to pull because we have Georgia McCabe back, and Georgia is an amazing, brilliant, actually, I need to say, woman who knows more about social media and websites and integrating them. And also, she and I are so parallel in how we view some of the almost scams that are floating around out in the publishing world and how so many authors are getting duped. So what we want to do today is really focus on social media strategy. What works? What doesn't work? What's the timing that you get into it? What don't you need to go down the path? Because what happens, especially for newbie authors, is that things get dangled. The publishing bling gets dangled, and you go in every which direction. You sign up for everything, and the reality is it's the wrong fit, the wrong time, and you end up paralyzing yourself. So we want to get into some of those topics today, but it does evolve. So much of the success for an author involves incorporating a savvy and sophisticated social media strategy program. And Georgia McCabe does that with authors all over the world. And we're going to dive into that. And Georgia, welcome.
Hello, Judith. How are you?
I'm great. So here we are at the end of the year, getting ready to plan next year. So this is really a good kind of, okay, we need to have a come to book moment, a come to author moment of what we really need to do for social media. So I guess what we need to really start of is, how fast is it? How efficient is it to really get one in place that works?
Well,
a deep breath there. Uh-oh.
A deep breath. This is a pet peeve of mine that, a lot of people just think it's a magic pill and, or a magic wand, and they just wave it and poof, everything's just going to be fantastic. They're going to be, American, New York Times bestsellers, whatever. And, bottom line, Judith, it's just hard work. I like to tell a lot of people that are getting started, and a lot of it depends on where they are already with their social media. But I like to tell people that, you really have to give it a good 4 months. That's making an assumption that someone's starting from zero. An example, I had an author that I started working with in September, and the person had absolutely zero presence. They didn't have a Facebook page. They had no Google Plus. They didn't have Twitter, no YouTube, nothing. But the goal was to achieve some pretty substantial goals within a matter of a month and a half. And it's just not feasible. I mean, so I like to tell people it takes a good 4 months, but bottom line with social media, and I've said this a number of times, it really is, just marketing. And one has to really have a strategy in place, understand where they're trying to go, what their goals, their objectives, their target market. And then once we've designed all of those things or understand those things, then we take advantage of the various tools that we can put in place. So I think the myth, back to your original question is, you need patience, you need time, you need persistence, and you have to just persevere through.
So the three top steps are patience. You got to give yourself some time, and you have to keep coming back and drilling down and be persistent.
Absolutely. I think there's, many myths that people have. The first thing is you have to be frequent. Once you've set your various platforms up, you have to be consistent. You have to be communicating. I mean, that's what this is all about. It's social. It's engaging. It's, really getting, in front of those customers that you want and, putting out good content, finding different engagement techniques. And these all take time. Like right now with the holiday season, this is a client that I'm working with right now. I think I'm on my 4th year with this particular client. And when we first started out, their business was down, about 8 to 10% from the previous year, month over month. And they were great. I mean, they just knew they had to plow away. They kind of gave me free rein to do things. Well, now in our 4th year, we are just we are just blowing it out of the park. We did a campaign the other day, and it was called, we started, I think, on the 25th of November, the 15th of November, and we did the 12 Days of Christmas. It was so successful that we ended up having to have overtime for product fulfillment. But, we had had a lot of trials and tribulations in the past, things that didn't necessarily work. Well, this one particularly resonated with their clients. But we used social media to really engage with them early on to see, what were the things that they were interested in. So I think with authors, it's the same case, whether you're a fictional author or whether you're a non-fictional author. It's really understanding your clients, what they want, using social media to ask those kinds of questions, interact with them, and then putting together an effective plan so that you can achieve the kind of goals you want.
How do you recommend, Georgia, that they interact? Here's what I get from so many of the authors I work with, that they do like the idea. They love it, of social media, of being able to reach out to just mega thousands very quickly. But it's the interaction, the engagement that puts them into paralysis. And what do they do? How far do they carry it? Because what they say is, I can't spend 4 hours a day interacting with people if I'm going to do my other work.
Right. I have an ebook that I have on my site, and it's tools and tips and tricks. But I honestly have a plan where I can teach clients that, you don't really have to spend any more than 15 minutes a day if you plan out accordingly. And so what I like to do, and I'll give you some ideas for engagement, we'll take an author that I've been working with. And so what we did was we came up with themes by month. And so, it was, let's start in let's say June, around the summer season. The whole theme there was about, things that children can do in the summer, because this was more of like a children's type book. So we took a theme for the month, and we created what we called an editorial calendar. And I've got this cool little spreadsheet that I give everybody. And so we pretty much laid out, okay, this is what we're going to write about, our blogs, and I recommend everybody have a blog, and that they should be writing at least twice a week. Doesn't take long, and it doesn't have to be, just a written blog post. I do a lot of just video blog posts. And so what we did was we laid out the theme. It was all about summer fun, things that you can do with the kids for the month of June. From that blog, we then created those blog articles for the week. We then created, 2 Facebook posts a day. And I like to recommend minimum of 3 tweets. And then, in addition to, actually getting a tweet out, responding to people, engaging with them by retweeting other people. You're fantastic at that, by the way.
Thank you.
And so we have, it's just, it's getting organized, it's getting planned, but really coming up, again, with that theme topic. I'm going to jump around here, but I did come across an incredible tool that I've had just incredible success with. It's a tool called Outbrain, Outbrain, and it's a way to syndicate your blog post to over 55,000 potential different publishers. And so what we did was we set up a feed so that as soon as a new blog post went out, and we put a dollar amount of $10 a day, that was the minimum amount, and then publishers ended up picking up those blog posts. And so what you're doing, I don't know if you've been on a blog and you see where it has other related stories, people would then click on it. The success we have had, in terms of driving traffic back to our blog. Once they're at the blog, then they can see about the book, or they can buy other products that you may have as follow-on. But I'm talking thousands of people clicking and physically going to that and using these. I mean, I'm talking like CNN, I'm talking Parent Magazine, Fitness Magazine, some of the top publishers.
And so this is all through Outbrain.
Outbrain, Outbrain. I mean, the key, Judith, is with social media, there's what we call earned media and paid media. Outbrain is what I'll call paid media. So just like you can do paid posts on Facebook, which I hate right now. I think that's really driving me crazy that you have to actually pay money to have people who have friended you to see your stuff. So you've got paid posts.
You know what? We have to get into that. We have about a minute to the break, but we do have to come in and talk about that because I think a lot of people don't really understand the difference between the earned and the paid. So I'm going to encourage us, we have 30 seconds left to break, to really deep dive into that. And Georgia, what I want you to do is to come back to what you're doing is you're allocating, budgeting $10 a day, you're saying, for this syndication campaign. So I'd like to know what the mechanism of that is. I'm personally interested. You know, as you know, I have a new book that we want to officially launch in February. So this will be fun. And we're with Georgia McCabe, brilliant in social media. This is Judith Briles. You're listening to Your Guide to Book Publishing.
This is Your Guide to Book Publishing. Everything you want to know but didn't know what to ask. With your host, Dr. Judith Briles. And we'll be right back with more great information right after these on the Rockstar Radio Network.
Is there a book in you or another? Author U will show you how to create, develop, and publish your book without being hoodwinked. If you already have a book out, you'll find a supportive and brainstorming community that's connected and creative no matter where you live. Author U brings in national experts for its book camps and annual author extravaganza held each May. It has regular meetings and delivers webinars for its members on timely topics. Through Author U's extensive network, members enjoy exclusive benefits, including significant discounts for a variety of services necessary to publishing. The Resource, its online book publishing news magazine, is content-heavy and it's free. If you want to create a book that has pizzazz, punch, and panache, Author U is for you. If you're a hobbyist or a casual author, it's not. Join Author U today through its website at authoru.org. Follow Author U on Twitter at Author U and on Facebook at Author U, where timely author and publishing tips and articles are posted daily. Author U, where the author goes to become seriously successful.
Change the way you publish online. WaveCloud is a new form for authors to manage all their books' information in one place from start to finish, including pricing and listing summary. To learn more or sign up for email updates, visit wavecloud.com.
Every
Every picture tells a story. And it's a truism that people do judge a book by its cover. Nick Sellinger and NZ Graphics have been in the business of producing superior graphic cover design and interior layout for self-published authors, independent and traditional publishers for years. He has developed a reputation for excellent work, fast turnarounds, and best of all, affordable pricing. NZ Graphics also produces ebooks and book marketing materials such as posters, sell sheets, postcards, bookmarks, business cards, logos, and more. Books designed for his clients have won multiple book awards, including Best Book Award by U.S. Book News, multiple Evie Awards from the Colorado Independent Publishers Association, Indie Book Awards, the San Francisco Book Festival Award, and Freedom Medal Award from Valley Forge. Visit www.nzgraphics.com or call 303-985-4174 for more details about making your book the success it should be. Mention that you are an FOJ, friend of Judith's, and that you heard about NZ Graphics on your guide to book publishing.
Welcome back to your guide to book publishing. Everything you want to know but didn't know what to ask on the Rockstar Radio Network. If you want to write and publish a book, if you want to be successful as an author, your guide to book publishing, everything you want to know but didn't know what to ask, is for you. Stay tuned and you'll hear about statistics, scenarios, and strategies on what to do now to get you published. So let's get back to the show. And here again is your host, Dr. Judith Briles.
Well, I've always felt that the hard part is really not getting published. There's so much information out that whether you take control yourself and you really control it and you carry your vision forth, there are so many experts out here who can help put that together. You can get the book. It's what you do with the book and you move it forward and marketing it. And that's what we're talking about. How do you get it out there? And so what Georgia McCabe was talking about with the Outbrain tool, and one of the questions I asked her off the air, so I'll just bring it back on. So, do you have to buy the software? And she reiterated, no, you don't buy it. What you do is you contract with them for X amount of days a month. I guess do you predetermine that or you go day by day, Georgia?
You can do both. I actually set it up so for the authors that I work with, I put that into the program that I offer them. So we do $10 a day for 30 days. And then, if I wanted to stop it, I could stop it. If I wanted, only do it 2 days, but the minimum cost is $10 a day. But you get the most effectiveness by really doing it for 30 days. And I know $300 sounds like a lot, but it really isn't when you think about the exposure you're getting.
Well, it's huge, and especially for our nonfiction authors, if it can lead them into a presence where they really get a full-fledged media follow-up, for example, or even people who are saying, hey, I want to hire you.
Exactly.
That's
or
not...
to get guest posts or reviews, whatever, because the types of publishers, Judith, that are, partnering with this particular software offering are, they're the creme de la creme, And, if you've got a regular writer that's writing a section for these, let's say it's Fitness Magazine or Parent Magazine or, whatever, they notice what pops up there as other related stories. So, as I was saying to you on the break, my one author, this month alone, I'm just looking at the stats, his blog articles have had 1.185 million impressions, and he's had over 4,369 people click through to his articles. And they have appeared in MSNBC, the LA Times, the Washington Post, the Huffington Post, Reuters. One article, which is has had 649,000 impressions and over 3,000 clicks. So it's also great to see, what's resonating with people. I mean, if I look at one that didn't go so hot, I'm trying to look at this month, and you have to look at it month to month. Actually, all of them are. Actually, this is a good one. United we stand, divided we fall, multiculturalism will divide. Now, this month it's only had 287 clicks, but if I go back in the first couple of months when we started this, that one was up there in the thousands. And what also happens with these is when people click through, then you're getting the comments. I mean, in this particular author's case, I mean, we probably spend a good hour a day just responding to comments that people are leaving on their blog posts. So, again, this is what I call paid media. And so this is one aspect. Another type of paid media would be like a Facebook advertisement. So let's say when someone's announcing a new book, or let's say with Author You can actually run a Facebook ad. And again, similar to Outbrain, you can set a specific dollar amount that you want to spend and never exceed that. And that's the next thing that Facebook is doing is they have promoted posts, which is kind of a bugaboo of mine. I'm very disappointed about it. But basically, what Facebook does is only about 16% of the people actually see, even if they've liked your page, because of what they use, they call this Edgerank Algorithm. Only about 16% of the people actually see the post that you put out. And so, it just blows my mind. So now what Facebook is doing is saying, hey, you know what? If you want everybody who's liked your page to see this post, pay me $10 for that post, and then I'll show it to everybody. And if you pay me $15, I'll let not only the people who've liked your page, but their friends see the post. So, it's really just totally irritating, because, in the beginning, that's what Facebook was supposed to be about, right? It's all that virility.
Is this because are their revenues down?
Oh, God, yes. I mean, their IPO has been less than stellar, and that's their only form of revenue is advertising. So you see them coming up, like another thing they have is offers, where you can pay to put up a coupon or a discount. And actually, those are pretty reasonable. What I should do for you, I should do a little video recording that we could put up on the Author You site about these kinds of things and show people how they can do them. But, again, even if you paid $10 every day for every post, that's just insane. So you really have to look at a combination. I'm not suggesting that you don't do any paid media, but you have to look at the combination of paid and earned. And I think earned media is something that we should probably chat about as well.
Yep. Let's get into earned media, because that is a critical thing. And going on, and that's I think that there's your domino factor that happens, and people start talking about it, and the buzz gets into that. So let's go down to that path.
Sure. So earned media is the best way to describe that is how you earn people's trust and loyalty, and that's really what this whole social media needs to be. It's all about the conversation between your business and your customers. And so what you need to do is to think about some strategies that you can use to do that. And there's a number of different things that you can do and a number of different applications, some that are free, some that aren't. So one of the things that I think authors could do a lot with is, I'm not suggesting contests, although Guy Kawasaki was very successful when he launched his book last year, and he actually got a sponsor. I can't remember if it was Canon or Nikon to give away, a camera. And then he had people post a picture. And again, with Facebook contests, you always have to use a third-party application. But they could post a picture, and the one that got the most shares or likes, would be the winner of that particular gift that he was giving away. So there's those kinds of contests that you can run. There's trivia, where you could come up with certain questions. And again, enlist people to, I don't know, you could come up with so many creative ideas around this subject, but you could have like a trivia contest. You could have a quiz where, based on certain questions, they can be given an answer. Now, what we're finding is both trivia and quizzes are shared a lot, so that, I don't know if you've ever done that, but I do that a lot. Like, so-and-so just entered the trivia contest about blah. And so I'll look at that. My friend took it. I think it's fun. And then I will also get engaged in that. So there's trivia. There's those types of things. There's ways that you can, again, coupons are, believe it or not, discounts. So if you're an author and you potentially want, you have other products, like one of the authors that you and I both work with has, an excellent book, Lynn Hellerstein, and she has a whole CD companion. Well, again, she could offer a discount around that. Great Christmas idea. So there's all kinds of techniques that you can use that way. The key, however, is to know that particularly with contests and giveaways, Facebook has very strict guidelines and rules in terms of how to do them, and you must use a third-party application. My favorite are OfferPop and OFFERPOP. And if you have less than 500 fans, it's free.
So what is that? So spell that again, Georgia.
Offer, like an offer, offer,
yeah.
pop.
Oh, pop.
And
okay.
Pop, yep. And they have a slew of ways that you can, do contest, giveaway, sweepstakes. Here's one we're doing, which is a lot of fun. We do a tug of war. So we'll ask people, one of my clients is a skincare company, and they have all these fragrance lines and stuff. So we're doing a tug of war between the fragrances. I did one 2 months ago with another company that I was working with on, it was an energy company.
Okay, so Georgia, with that, let's hold that. We're at the bottom of the hour, so we'll come back and we'll really dive into what the tug of war is.
Okay.
We'll be right back. This is Judith Briles. You're listening to Your Guide to Book Publishing. My guest today, Georgia McCabe.
This is Your Guide to Book Publishing. Everything you want to know but didn't know what to ask. With your host, Dr. Judith Briles. And we'll be right back with more great information right after these on the Rockstar Radio Network.
Since 1987, Color House Graphics has set the standard for quality book production. Whether you decide to print a small quantity of books or need a large print run, depend on Color House to help you. You'll receive professional help and advice the moment you reach one of our representatives. If you mention hearing about us on Your Guide to Book Publishing with Judith Briles, we will provide you a discount on the first order you place. To speak with a project manager, call us toll-free at 800-454-1916 or visit us at www.colorhousegraphics.com.
Do you need postcards that make a statement? How about business cards, flyers, brochures, or NCR forms? Tuvets is the solution for all your printing needs. Providing services specially designed for authors, we deliver exceptional quality colored printing. Most important of all, we specialize in reducing your printing costs. No more waiting. No more standing in lines at your local printer. Online proofing. With our Pricing Tools calculator, you can get instant quotes on all your printing products, as well as shipping rates all over the United States. Just a few clicks of the mouse and you're on the way to discovering how easy and convenient online color printing should be. Contact our friendly, human account representatives. We recognize that you want answers, not voice prompts. Visit our website at www.tu-vets.com or call 1-800-894-8977.
Ned Thompson and Harry Shore started Thompson Shore in 1972, they believed employees with great character would make up the best company. They were right. They hired people who were not only experts in bookmaking, but who were obsessed with quality and delivering exceptional customer service. Almost 40 years later, Thompson Shore remains a 100% employee-owned company. Ned and Harry knew that successful customer projects are a direct result of empowered employees. We specialize in all books for large and small publishers. Creating beautiful and well-made books, we're dedicated to pleasing our customers by making the experience a good one from start to finish. The personal touch we have with our customers allows us to be innovative in solving their most difficult challenges. Our platform also ensures that we can remain flexible to meet our customers' unique needs and expectations. Our marketing kit can create buzz for your title, enhancing the promotion of your book during infancy. When you need to test the market to gauge your future sales, we can provide digitally printed books that will transition seamlessly into a larger offset run. From ebook to hard copy to delivery, our skillful customer service teams are at the ready to answer your most pressing question. At Thompson Shore, we know that making the highest quality books requires more than just best technologies. It requires superior customer service, professionalism to the trade, and commitment to environmental and social values. With these standards of excellence in place, you can be sure that we will always help you put your best book forward.
Welcome back to your guide to book publishing. Everything you want to know but didn't know what to ask on the Rockstar Radio Network. Coming up, you'll hear more about statistics, scenarios, and strategies on what to do now to get you published. So let's get back to the show. And here again is your host, Dr. Judith Briles.
All right, so as we exited, we were talking about tug of wars and what does that mean, and how do you? I mean, it's intriguing, so it got my attention. So, how do you create it? What is it? How do you create it and get it implemented? So, Georgia, explain exactly what a tug of war would be.
Okay, so it's basically getting your fans, your followers, whatever, to engage and help you, or to help you, or have them tell you what their preference is. So an example might be one that I'm doing, or I just finished, was this energy company that we did, and they have a series of flavors. So they have like a berry flavor, tropical fruit, whatever. So what we did was we changed the timeline cover, to bring a spotlight to it, and that's very easy. It's just a JPEG image that you can easily, upload. Enter, or you have to be careful what the words say, but we, kind of had that the tug of war was on, and we basically asked people to vote for their favorite flavor. And so is it berry or is it tropical fruit? And then the winner of that round, let's say it was tropical fruit, would then go up against raspberry. And anybody that entered, then was entered into a sweepstakes where, we picked a winner randomly, and then they got a free taste. Or, I think on one that we did previously with them, anybody that entered automatically received a coupon or a discount so they could buy something. So that's an example of how you can do it. There's a number of applications. Again, OfferPop, OFFERPOP. .com has an application, and they have great tutorials. Another one, which I used to use, Judith, but I thought it was a little expensive, was called North Social, NORTHSOCIAL. Another one is Wildfire, which was a company just bought by Google. But they all have great videos. In fact, to really see how one works, I think the best site that has the best videos is North Social. But like I said, it tends to be one of the more expensive applications.
When you talk about the cost of applications, what are you talking about?
It varies. I have one that I've kind of come to like because I find it the least expensive. It's called Short Stack, and I think I pay $30 a month for that, but I can use that for all of my clients. North Social, I think at the time, for me it was expensive because I had so many clients, I think that was like around $20 a page a month. But again, you don't have to pay for it every month. If you ran it 1 month and then you wanted to, just don't forget what credit card you use. You could use that. OfferPop I like because if you have under 500 fans, they don't charge you. So, there's a whole slew of these applications that you can use, and you can get great ideas on what other people are doing. They have blogs. Here's one that's really cool, and it's free. But they don't do a tug of war, but they do it's a great way to run a contest. It's called Raffle Copter, and they're a Colorado company. They're out of Boulder, and it's free. It is awesome. I used that last February, where I had 6 companies participate together. And what each company did was they gave something as a prize. So let's say you and I, Judith, wanted to do a contest. And maybe you're going to give, someone a free entry to the convention coming up in May. And let's say and that's got a $500 value. And then let's say I'm going to do a complete consultation Facebook makeover, and let's say that's worth $500. So our contest prize is $1,000. And so what we say, in order to enter our contest, A, you have to like Author U, Facebook. You have to like Georgia McCabe. You have to follow us on Twitter. So they, and it's just a click of a button, easy to do. And then you have to leave a comment, let's say on our blog post that we wrote about whatever we decide to write. And people do that, and then they just get randomized, and at the end we pick a winner. So, but the cool thing about Rafflecopter is you can put it on your Facebook page, but you can also put that contest right on your website. They're like a little
and how do you spell that? Georgia, how do you spell that?
Raffle, Raffle, P as in Peter, T-E-R.
Great, I actually did it right.
But no, I mean, you can. Authors need to think about. Again, I'll pick on someone who I absolutely adore and love. We both do. Lynn Hellerstein, wonderful book. See It, Say It, Do It. And she's also got a new book coming out with sports vision therapy. But you can see how you could combine with potential partners so that you get the value of that prize up, right? Mm-hmm. So maybe Lynn does a free visual consulting, or she throws in her CD book. Maybe if it's about the sports, maybe she gets Nike to throw in something. Whatever. You think about how you can join with all these other different partners, and the key is making it easy to enter. Okay, very quick. People don't have to do a lot. That's why those kinds of sweepstakes or very quick entries are better off than ones like doing a video or essay, and the value of the prize. So we should do one, Judith. We should do one together with a couple of the people, the sponsors.
Absolutely. I'm all game for it, and especially with the my new book that's coming out in February, Author U, Creating and Building the Author and Book Platforms. I think this kind of thing all kind of ties into it. So, and I'm totally game. I mean, we've got the Author U Extravaganza, right, that I hope all our listeners put on their calendar for May 2nd through 4th. And then I've got Judith Briles Unplugged, that we'll be rolling out, where it's just me, working with people for deep diving strategies, within their books, whether they're bringing them out of the ground or they've got them in hand, on September 6th and 7th. So
I could see how even a bunch of authors, how a bunch of our authors could actually do one together, where maybe they're in the same kind of targeted market, but they're different subject matters. And that would be an interesting test. I'd love to do a case study on that.
Oh, no, here's the timing. I think a great timing for that, Georgia, would be like it's no April Fools, and roll it out on that kind of a thing, and just say, here is all these amazing things that are going to happen.
Very cool.
So I'm very game for that. All right, so sweepstakes. So it's got to be quick. It's got to have really true value. It's one of the problems I see in a lot of these offers, and I'm sure that you see them, and I know our listeners get them. I get them every day. Email, buy this, and you're going to get all these amazing bonuses. And that when I really look at some of those gifts and bonuses, most of them are worthless. At least to me, they're worthless, and that the inflated value that is put on them is unbelievable.
Yes.
So
totally agree.
Yeah,
totally
I
agree.
Yeah, I just Writer's Digest just did their self-publishing contest and grand prize, and I gave every winner in every category a copy of my publishing book, not the PDF. I actually sent them a book, and they were so stunned that they physically got something.
How? Oh my gosh! Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. I mean, we both participated with someone who just did one of those promotions where these partners said, they'll give something away, and the value is $1,000, and they were supposed to tweet and post it out and stuff, and bottom line, it ended up just being like a one-liner in somebody's newsletter.
Yeah,
so,
no, but when you do those things, I think for all our listeners, if you're getting engaged in a book blast, trying to hit Amazon or whatever, that one of the things, I think, George, maybe we'll come back with some of the things that we can suggest when we come back from our next break, which is in a minute. But there's some real key things that have to happen, including categories at Amazon IDs, because that's where you're going to roll it at. I was just reading in Publishers Weekly this week that the latest stats on ebooks, if you're going to roll it with the ebook, that 73% Amazon owns the world. They are the king of the universe here. 73% of all book sales are through Amazon. And then you look at 20% through Nook, and the rest are all the others. So you do the math, people, where you're going to go. I mean, it's not hard to do this math and see where you have that. So I just think it's critical in looking at that. And then lastly, in the last segment, I'd like to do a page on where we go with this. Right? I'm Judith Briles. Okay. We'll be right back with Georgia McCabe. Social media expert extraordinaire is my guest. You're listening to Your Guide to Book Publishing.
This is Your Guide to Book Publishing. Everything you want to know but didn't know what to ask. With your host, Dr. Judith Briles. And we'll be right back with more great information right after these on the Rockstar Radio Network.
Writing and reading are moving to the cloud. WaveCloud represents a whole new community for writers and readers to connect, communicate, evaluate, and share. Writers hone their craft and build their business. Readers build their favorites. Sign up for updates at wavecloud.com.
The book shepherding concept is simple. The publishing world is changing, and so must you. You need an experienced shepherd and a guide to partner with you as you create, strategize, develop, publish, and achieve your publishing goals. You can't do it alone without paying the price. You can spend your money creating a book that turns out to be so-so, or you can create a book that looks and feels classy, builds your brand, and is a financial success, a bestseller. It's your choice. You choose. You need the book shepherd. Publishing is riddled with obstacles, sometimes nightmares for the author. You don't need problems. You want solutions. Dr. Judith Briles will shepherd you through the maze and the chaos. At times, she's had to step in and rescue a book that has been sabotaged by a publisher or by a publishing service provider, or sometimes even the author themselves. Judith Briles is the book shepherd if you want to create a book with no regrets. Give her a call today. 303-885-2207. That's 303-885-2207. Or email her at judith@briles.com. By the way, Briles is spelled B-R-I-L-E-S. Follow Judith on Twitter at My Book Shepherd and on Facebook at The Book Shepherd.
At Total Printing Systems, customer service is our priority. We are located in Southern Illinois. Our employees have an average of 18 years experience and know that customer relationships are important to our continued success. We have been a short-run book printer for nearly 40 years and always stay at the forefront of technology. Our niche is from 1 to 5,000 copies. Today, we offer digital, black and white, and 4-color high-speed inkjet printing, a cost-effective way to introduce color into your short-run titles. We, of course, offer traditional offset printing as well. Bindery is done in-house, from adhesive case binding to PUR perfect binding to mechanical binding of all types, including side sewing. We provide warehousing, kitting, distribution, inventory management, a new print-on-demand facility, streaming browser-based ebooks, and bookstore. Call us at 1-800-465-5200 for a quote on your next book project. You can also visit our website at www.tps1.com.
Welcome back to your guide to book publishing. Everything you want to know but didn't know what to ask on the Rockstar Radio Network. If you want to write and publish a book, if you want to be successful as an author, your guide to book publishing, everything you want to know but didn't know what to ask, is for you. Stay tuned and you'll hear about statistics, scenarios, and strategies on what to do now to get you published. So let's get back to the show. And here again is your host, Dr. Judith Briles.
Last segment, we want to get into the whole area of a couple of things that we haven't covered. And I want to make sure we do this. The recapping the strategies to engage, to make sure, because we've really been all over. And I love the idea of sweepstakes. I think that's really a good idea for authors in promoting their books once they have them. But it's also a great idea if you're trying to decide on covers, if you're trying to decide on taglines, which is some of the things that Georgia does with her clients, trying to get that branding, because this is all about branding and bringing it about. And I have to say this, one of the things that I don't like about Facebook, besides they change all the time, is that Facebook is really the brand. It's not you. And that's why I think it's so imperative to have a really good-looking website that's interactive, that brings them back to it. I know we did a show in last month with Allison Stanfield, where she really talked about how she sells all the time her products, her books, her programs directly off the website, and she drives them there, and that's where people are really buying. They're not, she says, Amazon's fine. She says, I love shipping cases of books to Amazon, but her primary sales is actually direct through her website. So, Georgia, maybe you can talk a little bit, because you do so much in revamping websites to make them work.
Sure. In fact, I'm going through one right now, Judith, with one author who had, it was just filled with content. It was so filled with content that you couldn't even find the content. And it was like a treasure hunt. I mean, when you would see some of the stuff that this person had written, or valuable videos, whatever, it was incredible. So, I'm big on simplicity. I keep it simple. I like a nice visual, appeal so that people can kind of get the message. So I love to use sliders where, you can kind of feature, the book itself, where it can be bought, a little bit of inspiration, maybe, the social media channels that one participates in, yada, yada, yada. The other thing that I like to make sure that people do is that on the site itself is that they effectively use the social media plugins. Because if someone's at your site, then they can opt in to something, which is another key thing. You always want to give people a reason to give you your email. And you have to have something compelling. So, like, for me, I change it up all the time. But I used to have, sign up now and I'll give you 5 days of short video tips. And every day I would deliver a video tip if they gave me their email. I've done a planning calendar. So I change that up a lot. I have my Facebook plugin so that people can actually like my page. Right from there, they can see my friends. They can see my latest posts. They can see my tweets. They can go to my Pinterest board. So, I make sure that I have all of those widgets very, tightly integrated on the right. I like to keep a kind of a 2-panel approach with a simple slider. I'm big on a white background. I think when people have like the black backgrounds with the different colors, it's just really tough to read. And I also like to make sure that the navigation at the top, I try to keep it to 5 simple tabs. And then underneath those tabs have the other navigation. So, this is a whole discussion unto itself, what you need to do, but, it's not hard to do. I'm also a big believer that everybody should have their own URL. And in fact, one of the biggest things that people need to do is to really think how they're going to brand themselves. And I've convinced most authors, I like to see them brand their name. And, assuming their name's not Smith.
Right? But that's where you use your middle name, too.
Exactly. But, again, I'll talk a little bit about Lynn. Lynn had a book, See It, Say It, Do It. And now she has a book on sports, right? And so
sports
what we're doing...
Yeah, 50 sport tips to visualize your peak performance, your success, since I had my hands in that little book.
Right.
But it was, I think actually it's going to do extraordinarily well.
I think so too. But what we've got is, we worked on branding Lynn. So, it's Dr. Lynn Hellerstein. And we've been playing with her new logo. The Vision Visionary. We've come up with taglines. I actually like Dr. Einstein. I thought that was hysterical. But,
mine was the Vision Visionary. You know that.
Yep.
I pushed.
And good. Well, that's what we picked. So
there you go.
There you go. So it's like you're the book shepherd. I'm the social media sensei. She's the Vision Visionary. So, those basic elements of branding, right, and then carrying that theme, but then making sure that not only do we have www.Lynn Hellerstein, that we've got youtube.com/Lynn Hellerstein, twitter.com/Lynn Hellerstein. And Judith, what really happens, if you go in, and you're the same way, I've already done it on you. If I Google Judith Briles, what's happening is because you are so active in social media, the weight that is carrying from an SEO perspective is just incredible. I mean, you'll see Judith Briles' Facebook or Twitter or LinkedIn. You'll see that start to come up first. I dominate, last I checked, 12 pages of Google if you search my name. 2 years ago, you couldn't even find me. But, so the website is the hub. Well, I should say the blog is the hub. The website is where you're going to sell yourself. The blog is where you want to give that real valuable content. You want to make sure you have all those social media plugins. Like we mentioned on the right, making it very easy. You want to make sure you have that very compelling opt-in. And you want to make sure above the fold you have links so that people can immediately get to those social profiles. Nothing irritates me more than when I go to a website and I'm like, wow, I want to see that person's Facebook page. How do I find it? Sometimes it's buried under contact. I like to see those buttons right up at the top. Or the widgets along the side.
Well, I think that the other thing that's so frustrating is that people can't find anything half the time, and or they have to click through so many levels to find what they're doing. I mean, for me at this point, I just say the hell with it, and I get out of it. It's not worth it.
Not even, right.
To keep going, and I know I am not alone. I know that I am not alone in that.
Absolutely not. And the other thing, dude, that's so important is that people are building them or redoing them. And like I said, I'm a big proponent of WordPress. Make sure it's a mobile-friendly site. You want people to be able to view it on their smartphones, on their tablets. And again, a lot of those, when you search, can go to themes like elegant themes or, there's just tons of WordPress. Always look to make sure it's a mobile-friendly site.
Well, here's what I need to say, because we only have literally like 2 minutes left to go on the show. I want all our listeners to go to Georgia's website. It's Georgia McCabe, MCCABE.com, and you can just see exactly what she is talking about. And actually, I whipped over to it. She has on a blog 5 tips, and we actually pre-recorded this to air earlier in the month because the staff is all off why this is going on. But she had a blog, 5 tips on using social media to rock your holiday sales. I literally, while she was talking, I put out 6 tweets over the next couple of days just on that site, and I posted it on 6 other Facebook, LinkedIn pages. So there you go.
There you go.
There you go. So, but that's really what we're talking about. When you have all this set up, you can do it. You can respond very quickly. You see something. I mean, I know that authors want to know, is there any, do I have any chance of, what can I do literally to move books right now? Right now, what could I do? What could I do? What strategies could I take from holiday sales, which, by the way, work because there's holidays all year long.
Right.
And we from the President's Day that comes up, you've got Valentine's Day, which is a huge day that you can play with. And you've got all these goofy days. I often post up on my Twitter, like yesterday was National Square Dance Day. Okay, so grab your partner and get going. And you can have fun with stuff out there. And play with it, but put it that is a different way to engage people, and I'll be doggone now people retweet all that stuff.
Well, they do.
They do.
They absolutely do.
All right, we have 30 seconds. I've got to say thank you to Georgia McCabe. She is a wealth of information. If you want someone on your team that will really take you to the next level in social media, in websites, you really want to track down and subscribe to her blog, go to her Facebook page, follow her tweets. It'll all be well worth it. Thank you, Georgia, for being with me once again.
Thank you, Judith.
All right.
And you have a wonderful holiday.
You too. Happy New Year. All right?
Okay, honey.
All right. This is Judith Briles. We'll be right back and see all of you next year.
Thank you for being a part of Your Guide to Book Publishing. Everything you want to know but didn't know what to ask. With your host, Dr. Judith Briles.